Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and you are watching Black Girl Therapist in the Wild. And this is Therapist Sips and Reviews Insecure episode 10, Lowkey Lost. This is the final episode. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. And I'm drinking cream de cacao and Kahlua. Yes. So yeah, let's get started. Welcome. Whew. So, we start this episode off with Lawrence and Issa at the farmer's market. You know, lovey-dovey, wholesome, good-naturedly beginnings. And Lawrence walks up to Issa and tells Issa that he got the job in San Francisco. And he asks her, do you mind the distance? You know, and Issa's like, no, I don't mind. I'm perfectly fine with it. She's basically ready to up and move to San Francisco with him, actually. You know, she's like, I can start all over again over there. You know, and I feel like when she said that, well, don't you have a career that you had just got off the ground right here, right now in Southern California? And, you know, you're going to suddenly stop what you were doing for a man and move your whole life up there to San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, and she also says, you know, I don't really have anybody down here. I can make friends up there. You know, I guess so since her and Molly are done, it's like, you know, let's start anew. Let's start afresh, you know. Let's cut things off. And Lauren's like, cool, you know, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go up there to San Francisco. That would be great. Wonderful. Then we move to Molly and Andrew at one of Molly's work events. And Andrew does not look excited about this work event. He looks kind of bored and outdone with everything that's going on around him. You know, it's just not his scene. It's not his type of party. So Molly looks great though. She's talking to her coworker. She's, you know, schmoozing everybody. Everything is great for Molly. Molly thinks everything is wonderful. And then she asks Andrew, well, no, one of her coworkers comes by and asks if Molly and Andrew would like to go to, you know, another event afterwards that her coworkers are throwing. And, you know, then he walks away and Molly asks Andrew, like, hey, let's go to another event. And Andrew's like, no, I don't really want to go to another event. How about you go? And Molly just is kind of like, well, what if I asked one of your artists to come and work the event, and then we can both be working at my event, but it's still Molly's event. That is important to note later. Molly's event, Molly's time. It's important to note. Next, we have Issa and Nathan at Nathan's barbershop. And Nathan is helping Issa by providing her space to throw an event for something he wants to do, to bring together hairstylists and things like that in the area and such and whatnot. And Nathan is telling Issa, you know, he's coming clean to her about his feelings when she told him about Lawrence. And we know Nathan still wants Issa. And Issa, you know, tells Nathan, well, I understand that you may have feelings, but I'm with Lawrence now, and I'm a better person now. So Issa is highly focused on being this better person. I had someone tell me that they felt Issa was still stuck on what Molly told her before. So Issa's still stuck on what Molly told her about her being a mess. And so she's been spending this whole time trying to improve her life and be the best person she can be because she's still stuck on that shit. And the thing is that you don't improve your life so everybody else can see that you've improved. You improve your life for yourself. So her turning Nathan down and trying to be the best girlfriend she can be, going to San Francisco, being with her man, holding her man down, you know, is, I think, all a part of Issa trying to prove to herself, the universe, Molly, whatever, that she has healed and she is a good person that is not messy and does not make mistakes, which no human being is. So, she tells Nathan, I am with Lawrence now. I am not interested in being anything more than friends with you. But I do understand your position and I am sorry for it. Next, we move to the scene where Andrew and Molly are in Molly's home. And Andrew is just looking pissed the fuck off about whatever the fuck he's pissed the fuck off about. And of course, Molly is just oblivious to all this shit. Then all of a sudden, Andrew just starts talking about how he feels that everything is on Molly's time. See, Molly has healed herself enough to have a facade of a relationship, but she has not healed herself enough to realize that relationships come with mistakes. Relationships come with ups and downs. Relationships need to be shared between two partners, not just, everything has to be on Molly's time, at Molly's events, with Molly's, fluctuations of schedule. Versus when Andrew wants to do things, Molly says no. When Andrew needs to change the schedule, Molly flips out. But I don't agree with the example Andrew used as far as when he wants his time and to do things that he likes, because he used the example of Molly saying no to hang out with his brother. Any motherfucker would say no to hanging out with your racist ass brother, okay? And that's why I said last time, give the ultimatum that he needs to apologize to her face, and then we'll move forward. If he apologizes to her face, then we'll hang out with the motherfucker all day and all night. And if he ever says some bullshit again, just be like, well, what about the apology? I thought you apologized to me before, didn't you? Yes. So, I don't agree with the example. I would have chosen a different example just because when it comes to racism, you may be able to stand your brother because that's your brother, that's blood. But when you bring in a partner, no one wants to trigger themselves over and over again just because your brother's racist, okay? No one wants to deal with that. So I think it's fair that she didn't want to go to that fucking basketball game and hang out with your fucking racist brother. And if you can't understand that, then fuck you. But I think he was valid in some of his other points where he was saying that a lot of things are on her time. Everything they do is things that she wants to do. They don't necessarily do anything that Andrew wants to do. And he's feeling some type of way about that. So Molly wants the facade of a happy, healthy, beautiful relationship. And she wants the facade based off of her lifestyle. She does not want to share the relationship. She doesn't know how to have a shared relationship because she doesn't know how to let go of the facade that she wants. It's okay to want to be successful and have the appearance and all this other shit. But at the same time, you have to still want to have a regular, humble motherfucker that, likes to do fun shit and makes mistakes and everything else. Because human beings are going to human no matter how successful they are. Human beings are going to have likes and dislikes that maybe you like and they don't like, and they like and you don't like, and you just have to work through it and compromise, and shit happens and all this other stuff. Molly doesn't seem to understand that. Molly wants the ticker tape, parade, the check all the checks off of her list of what a relationship should be. So, she still needs therapy. She still needs help with understanding relationships. Which is, something that a lot of us need help with. But how about we not drag somebody else into a relationship before we're actually ready to understand what a relationship is for ourselves and what we want that to look like? Because your ideal relationship should not be based off of what you feel like, not necessarily what you feel like your life should look like, but more so what you feel like a successful life should look like based off of society and the circles that you run in and things like that. You know, you got motherfuckers out here that are like billionaires living in regular houses, doing regular shit, having regular fun. And you wouldn't even know that they were billionaires. You know, all that shit. Your life can look like whatever the fuck you want to make it look like. You don't need the facade. You can do shit Andrew likes to do. It's not that horrible. You can share space with it. Excuse me. You can share space with him. You can not pitch a bitch fit just because he's hanging out with his friends, because you're always fucking working, and the one night that he didn't know that you weren't going to be working after dinner, all of a sudden, you scheduled time with your friends and that. Yes, he did, bitch. You are showing a consistent behavioral pattern. So he's going along with your consistent behavioral pattern because you're what? Not communicating, ho. Yes. So he's mad, but then all of a sudden, Molly gets a call. Tiffany is missing. Molly, Kelly, Issa, and Tiffany's husband all end up at Tiffany's house, and they go on a scavenger hunt for Tiffany. So apparently she went from this bar to this Mexican food spot to this hotel. In the process of this, they get on the bus and have a whole interaction on the bus because they feel like Tiffany must have took the bus to the hotel. And they're trying to catch her and find her. And I guess Kelly stops the bus because the bus went past the hotel and they needed to get off. And so Kelly, the bus driver, wouldn't stop the bus for them. So Kelly pressed the button and let everybody off the bus. And then the bus driver calls the police because he's mad that Kelly pressed the button and all this other shit to open the doors. And the police come, and then Kelly gets into it with this white man that had been sitting next to her talking about dark chocolate and I like black women and I have an inner black woman, all sorts of stupid shit. So she gets in it with him, and then the bus driver gets in it with Issa and Kelly and all the group. And then Kelly looks at the police officer and she goes, "Do you want to make this a problem? Do you want to make this a black problem?" And the officer's like, "Nope, not me, not today. All y'all need to go home." And so the officers let them go their separate way because they don't want that mess. They don't want that shit today. And I just wish that if you are a police officer and you know nothing's going on here, even if you don't like black folks, just let everybody go the fuck home. Just let it go. Let it the fuck go. Don't have a conversation. Just walk away. Everybody else walk away. Everybody walk the fuck away. Just like these officers. Let the motherfuckers go. That's what he did. Let them go. And then the group goes to the hotel. Tiffany's at the hotel. She looks like a wet dog. She opens the door. She's just got out the shower. She's just wet, dripping, and she just looks like sadness. So apparently she must have postpartum depression. We've heard little snippets here and there throughout the season of how she's tired of this baby. So she has postpartum depression, apparently. I mean, it seems like it. She had to get away. She had to get away from her husband. She had to take a break. She didn't know how to deal with her emotions. So she needs therapy, basically. It's not mentioned, of course, but her husband's there and he loves her. And I will say, for all the foolishness and fakery, seemingly foolishness and fakery of their relationship, he loves her. They love each other. It seems like he's there for her. He's hugging her and shit. He's not making her feel like shit just because she ran the fuck away and couldn't handle taking care of that baby. I mean, postpartum depression happens. Being pregnant, having kids, fucks up the chemicals in your brain. It happens. Next scene is back to Molly and Andrew. Molly comes back to her home. Andrew is still there. And Andrew just kind of feels like the relationship is over. He feels like they're not on the same page. They're not where they need to be because Molly wants that perfect fucking life, And he looks at her and he asks her, "Do you really think that this is a relationship that you want?" And Molly just is looking at him, and I think she's trying to say yes, but she can't because she's not in the space to accept all the ins and outs that can come with a relationship. So I don't even know if she knows what she really wants, you know? Like, do you know what you want without all your rigid rules and standards? Like, she's rigid. She has rigid boundaries. She doesn't let motherfuckers in. And when he tells her that he doesn't think the relationship is, you know, where it needs to be, she's begging and pleading and saying, well, I can change. I can be more open. We can do more things that you want to do. And that's when he just looks at her and goes, is this a relationship that you really want? Or something along those lines. And she's like, she doesn't know what, she's speechless. She is speechless. She doesn't know what the fuck to say. And then we cut to the scene where Issa is in her apartment with Lawrence. And Lawrence looks shell-shocked and fucked up in the face and like he's just been crying or he's about to start crying. And then Lawrence tells Issa that Condola is pregnant. And they cut between the scenes where Condola is telling Lawrence back to Lawrence telling Issa. Apparently Condola got pregnant during that whole period before Lawrence decided to go get the job in San Francisco or apply for it. During that period before he even thought about Issa or being back with Issa. During the reverse cowgirl period. Yes, God, honey. And so, he's just telling her, like, I didn't know. I wasn't ready for this. Issa's like, this is a lot. Does that mean you're going to get back with her? And in the scene where they cut to Condola and Lawrence, Condola's telling him all this bullshit about, well, you don't need to be a part of the baby's life. I just wanted you to know you don't have to be involved at all. And she's going to keep the baby. I mean, not everybody, abortion is a traumatic experience for a lot of folks. Not everybody wants to go through that experience. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the folks that do, but I'm just saying it's a traumatic experience. A lot of people don't want to go through it. Some people don't believe in it. All those things. So for whatever reason that I don't judge her for, she wants to keep her baby and she's telling Lawrence that he doesn't have to be involved. Now, I feel like that's okay. You know, because if somebody does not want to be there for their child and you force them, that can be even more traumatic to you and to the child than it is if you just let them decide on their own to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Because now you've put somebody in a forced situation and they're angry. And who are they taking that anger out on? The child. And the child's parent, the mother. And it's not fair to the child. So, you know, or the child's mother or parent that decides to take care of the child solely as a single parent. So, I mean, if she is meaning what she's saying, then I'm all for it. You know, if she feels like she's going to give him the freedom to choose what the fuck he wants to do, then do what the fuck he wants to do. Then whatever, you know. And this is a sensitive area for some folks. Do what the fuck you want to do, you know. This is just my opinion, you know, because I've experienced that. I had an absent father. I felt that he was forced to visit me. And a lot of times there were lies and manipulation and all this other stupid shit that would have not happened if you just let the nigga not be in my life like he didn't want to be in my life. And I wouldn't have been so jaded by, you know, all the shenanigans of an absent father. So, you know, it depends on your experience, but usually this is what I've seen in clients as well who've had the same thing. So I think that, you know, that's a fair thing to say that if you don't want to be in the child's life, you don't have to be. I would add as a caveat that you're not going to be in and out of the child's life, though. So either you're going to decide to be in the child's life or you're not going to decide to be in the child's life. But if you decide to be in the child's life, then you're going to be in it 100%. You know, all those things. So, but I don't know. Because I feel like people say things when in a heated moment, but let's say later on, she gets mad, she gets overwhelmed, she feels the hormones of pregnancy and all these other things, and then goes back on all that shit. So, you know, but Lawrence doesn't seem like the type that just is not going to be there for his kid. So I don't necessarily think that that's an issue. I'm just, you know, looking at different scenarios. So Issa's shell shocked. Lauren says he still wants to be with her. I mean, he didn't know about the kid. It happened before he even decided to get with Issa. He wasn't aware of any of this shit. He can't control whether Condola keeps the baby or doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Plan B is for. If you feel a condom break, if you don't use a condom during sex, pull out doesn't work. I don't know how this sexual event went, but if there was a pull out or the condom broke or whatever have you, Plan B is a wonderful thing. But I don't know how it went, so let's get past that. But yeah, so I don't know how I would feel. I mean, it happened before me. He says he doesn't want to be with her. Issa's shell shocked. She was just like, I thought this would be the new happy ending for us. I thought finally, and all this other shit. I mean, it could still happen though. I mean, it's not like he and then he went and told her about it. So, But I feel like this is my thing. We never saw him speak to Condola after that night that she was calling him over and over again when he went on the date with Issa. But in the very next episode, he's saying that he spoke with Condola and they've squashed it and everything's fine. My thing is, did he actually talk to Condola? Because I feel like she would have told him before then. Before the recent period where he's saying that she told him. I feel like she would have told him before when he said that he talked to her. Did he really talk to her? That's my question. Did he really talk to her? I don't know. I still feel on the fence about that. I do. And so, did he really talk to her? Did he not talk to her? And she's been pregnant this whole time and he just never called her back. And then finally he talked to her. And then, now he's like, now he knows she's pregnant. I don't know how that went down. They're not really showing a lot of shit, but he knows she's pregnant now. He told Issa that she's pregnant. And I don't know. He's saying that he didn't know that this happened before, So I don't know what I would do. Do you give it a shot or do you just be like, well, fuck it. Fuck this nigga. I don't got time for this. Go with Nathan. He has a barber shop. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I mean, she feels really connected to him. And it kind of crushed her spirits, I think, too. Because like I said, I feel like she has been on this train of, I am not a mess. I am a good person, trying to prove herself all this time. And now things have kind of fallen apart. Like, once again, Molly has proved right that I am a mess. Because look what's happening now. So I don't know. But we'll see next season what happens with this whole baby situation, because there's going to be a season 5. There was an article that said there's going to be a season 5. The next scene, we then go to Issa at the Ethiopian restaurant, and she's meeting with Molly. And she walks across to the table and sits down across from her. And finally, they start talking. And I don't even hear what they're talking about, because I feel like this is what's needed to happen for a long time. So finally they're doing it, and they're talking about their problems and talking about what led up to this moment, and hopefully they're fixing their fucking friendship, because maybe I kept saying that Molly was talking to folks but not talking to Issa. Maybe Molly hasn't really been talking to people the way she should be talking to people. Like, she talked to the coworker at work and told him how she felt and why she felt there was a distance between them and things like that. But with Andrew, it's like you're closed off to doing things with him and having those couple moments with him that involve things that he wants to do. And It's like you're not even aware of the fact that you're doing that. As long as things appear happy coming from your end, then it doesn't matter how he feels. So it's like there's still work there. So maybe, this is the first instance where Molly is actually fleshing out problems, and she's doing it with Issa. You know, she's taking down the wall. She called Issa. She invited Issa there. So she's tearing down the wall. She's opening the doors of communication first, like, everybody wants. Even though, like I said, I feel like I don't care who starts the conversation. It's how it ends. Are you still doing the same shit? Okay, then I don't need to be the fuck around you. Like, there you go. So, her and Issa, Molly and Issa, are finally having a conversation. And then it cuts to black. It's over. That is the end of the season, and that is all that's needed. And I think they need each other as friends. I feel like Issa needs to let go of what Molly said about her being a mess. They're both a mess. They both have emotional issues. They both need work like any human being in the world. And they're still going along the process of working on themselves. Molly is rigid and puts up walls and doesn't want to talk about problems and pushes people away whenever she feels there's conflict in the air. Issa wants to blow things over and let things go back to normal and never address issues. And, that thing that Molly said about her being a mess and always causing problems and using people has stuck with her since Molly said it to her. So now she's trying to build her life as the perfect person, perfect girlfriend, perfect friend, perfect everything. After that whole first meeting with Molly, we had a good conversation. We squashed everything. We didn't talk about much, but I think it went well and shit like that. She's trying to be the perfect to meet everybody's expectations of, she's changed and she's a better person. And so they both have shit to work on. So I hope that in this conversation that they really flesh out why they were treating each other fucked up, the things that they've learned on the journey separately, and coming back together and putting the things that they learned to work. Hopefully Molly is learning, especially from the Andrew situation, that she needs to be more open and communicative and take more notice of the people that she allows into her life instead of just focusing on herself and on her passions and on the way that she wants life built up for her. Because I think that's a part of why her friendship with Issa was so rocky too. She wants this ideal life, and she thought she went to therapy a few times, and she was able to talk to her coworker and make things change, and she was able to get her a boyfriend and whatever. That now my life is coming together, and I don't need Issa, who is messy and has issues. All I need is my happy little castle that I built over here. I don't need to work on the other things that is making the foundation of the castle rotten. So, and then Issa, hopefully she has learned that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to love yourself and communicate how you feel, even if it's hard. Just talk about your problems. Talk about what's going on. Talk about why you're upset about stuff, and continue on the path of building your career and your life up. It's okay. It's okay that you make mistakes. It's okay that sometimes messy things happen. How are you going to get through those messy things? How are you going to work on those things? How are you going to respond to the messy things? Because messy things will always happen because we are human beings, and human beings make mistakes and they have problems, and we are messy. It's okay. So I'm excited to see where this goes in this 5th season, but I will be putting up the video for This May Destroy You tomorrow, and then I wanted to do one for the five Bloods, because it seems like an interesting movie, so I'll probably do one for that too. But I hope you enjoyed this little series review of Insecure season 4, and I hope you enjoy my further review videos, as well as my further therapeutic videos and things like that. So I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you have a good work week, and later days.